So this is gonna be a fun one. This is definitely gonna be a fun one and an informational, educational one. I think there are a lot of interesting things and takeaways to take from here. So we are recording the AMA for people who can't stay till the end, or for people who would like to listen to it again once we are over. Um, Guys, would you like to introduce yourself again to the community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll go first, and then Marianne, you should introduce yourself as well for those that don't know you around the space. So from the Venturemind account, it's me, Jermaine Anaguam. I'm founder, CEO of Venturemind. Um, you know, the one that makes all the fun decisions and leads the team. A very talented team, and overall product rollouts, development, marketing, strategy, content, you name it. So I have my hands in a little bit of everything.
I love it. Michael, would you want to go?
Would I want to? Ha, I'll go. I'm Michael, Chief of Sales at Venturemind AI. Been in it with Jermaine since pretty much the beginning of conception. Just here to assist and help Jermaine in the tough decisions that he needs help with. And um, sales, marketing, content, we pretty much have our hands in everything. And then, you know, the rest of the team helps with well, they're in here, so they'll introduce themselves as well.
Love it. Love it. Really happy to be here with you guys. Personally, my name is Marianne. I am part of Kiwi, the company that overviews community management and community retention. So we are here, and I am here with you guys on the AMA to ask your favorite founders the questions that you would like to know the answers to. So let's get started without further ado.
Well, we can't get
Um,
started yet because one of the most important people here in this space, our CTO for the first time, Vib, go ahead and introduce yourself. We
ooh,
can't forget about the CTO. So,
Vib is
Hey guys,
here. Welcome,
hey
Vib.
guys,
Hello.
nice to be here. My name is Vibhanshu. You guys can call me Vib. I'm the CTO of Venturemind, and I look after all the AI stuff, the cool stuff, the tech stuff, right? So I look after the development of the tools app, the staking app, the website. So whatever in tech, you name it, I got it. Yeah, that's what my thing is.
love it.
Is this the first time Vib speaks in front of the
First
Venturemind
time.
audience?
Yes, this is the first
Nice.
time. Yeah, yeah, yep.
This is incredible. This is awesome. Okay. Well, guys, I mean, the vibes are here. Everybody is here. The team is here. And we are super excited to get started. So, if you still have any questions that you don't find asked in the channel called AMA chat right above this stage, please feel free to go to the channel, drop your question. We're going through them one by one. Um, let's get started. So, the first question, which is a very interesting question. When do you guys plan on listing on the first major exchange? Like Binance, Coinbase, Qcoin, etc. As this will increase investor confidence and usher in the blue whale investors to blow this thing beyond $1.
You know, we get this question a lot. Just like any other crypto project. Guys, I'll answer the question, but before that, I want you to realize that we launched on December 11th, right? I don't even think it's been a month. Today's the 9th, right? So it hasn't even been 4 weeks, and we're already getting the when Coinbase Binance question. A lot of times, yeah, I'll just say this that our volume is heavy, right, on the Dex, which we launched on Radium. So we've had multiple tier one, tier two, tier three exchanges have reached out to us We're in conversations with several. We are under strict NDAs, so of course that is about as far as it goes as far as talking about it. But we're in conversations with several. So yeah, just kind of take that what you will with that.
Interesting. I mean, listen, it hasn't even been a month, and so much has been pushed and delivered already. I think everybody feels like it has been way more than a month. Everybody's excited, and I'm saying that in a good way. I'm saying that in a good
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
100%. So fair
yeah. I
enough.
think
Just so
um, listen, as a founder, one of the major things that I have to deal with is making sure that the community, that I lead the teams, right? Everyone has a job to do, but making sure that the community knows that I have their best interest in heart when it comes to getting venture in the hands of everyone, right? And so I think a lot of other founders try to sway away from that as far as, being transparent and things like that. Some things we can be really transparent on, other things we can't, due to legalities. But just know that, I look out for investors and speculators of the token, those that want to use the product, those that want to, emphasize on the NFT usage as well, the robotics. So trust me, I see your comments. And I take into context strategically how we're going to plan everything out. And trust me, we won't miss any mark. We won't miss anything as far as sentiment in the market and so on. So we're keeping our eyes everywhere, from Bitcoin to what the market looks like for altcoins and things like that. So that's just one part of the business as a founder that you have to do, right? It can't be solely on one thing and forget about the rest. So trust me, I listen, I see, and we are executing for sure.
you guys are executing for sure. I mean, we're gonna get to that part, but AI definitely believes that you are executing, you know? We'll talk about that in a bit. Um, let's move to the second question. What potential synergies exist between Venturemind AI's language processing and Venturemind Robotics' remote control capabilities? And how might developers leverage these integrated technology for breakthrough innovations?
Yeah, sure, I can answer that, and maybe Vib can co-sign after that. Is so VentureMind. I want you guys to think of VentureMind as a corporation, right? VentureMind Artificial Intelligence is we're a company, right? We're a company formatted in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have our crypto license, so we can custody crypto and all types of other things that come with the crypto license. So under that umbrella is the first two ventures, which is the AI platform and the robotics platform. Those are two separate entities. Venture Robotics and then Venture Mind AI, the two separate platforms. When it comes to integration, I want you to think in a sense of with the robotics, it's more so on the lines of us being a software company as opposed to purely robotics. We have partnerships with some of the top manufacturers of robotics that we've done our due diligence on in order to for them to send us these functioning quadrupeds and humanoids in order to make sure that we can implement our software inside of those robots. They do come with AI and algorithms and functionality of what they can do, but the issue is that operators have to be there with the robots in order for them to perform, right? It has remotes or use your app on your phone or something like that. Ours is more on the lines of teleoperations, where you, as you're sitting at your laptop or your phone or whatever you're doing right now, you're able to control these quadrupeds from anywhere in the world. And in order to do that, there's a couple of systems that we have to put in place and some software that we have to develop, and that's where Theta comes in, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But I don't want you to think of VentureMind AI um, language processing integrating with our robotics side because they're just two separate entities.
Right. So like Jermaine said, right? So robotics and AI are two separate parts of the company. Yeah. And when we talk about the robotics, right? So the main intention of what we're trying to do over here is trying to build systems for future, right? For things where humans can't go to, for things that humans should not need to do, and for creating lots of career opportunities and advancements in the fields of robotics and AI, right? So, as you know, for our AI, we are focused on tools and agents and other lineup that's going to come on in the future, right? But specifically for robotics, right, you're going to be seeing more updates soon, right? Like Jermaine said, we have partnerships with top robotics companies all over the world, and we are trying to, get into the more hardware part, and then use the platform to control that hardware to make something so beautiful that's gonna be that's it's like saying is this it's like making true of the sentence, the future is coming, and venture mind is bringing that future to you. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Look at you, Vib. I mean, you're speaking poetry. You're speaking you're speaking great things, and a lot of people do believe that Venturemind is bringing the future, and I don't think people realize how what is cooking in the back end. So I love that answer. Let's continue. So our third question would be, how are you going to attract corporations to leverage your solutions? And how fast can you implement a client-tailored solution, i.e. internal workflow or process optimization with Web2 interfaces slash APIs on a large and big scale?
Oh my, that's a loaded question. I love it. So, you know, when we were, you know, we've had multiple conversations with VCs, right? In the beginning, and we decided not to really go that route. But one of the biggest questions was that, how do you scale? How do you get into enterprise and attract companies and small businesses or even medium to large size businesses to onboard their employees to where they're coming online and they're using the tools just like any consumer would from that perspective, right? Whether they be in Web3 or Web2. And the biggest thing that I would always tell them is that Legacy loves non-crypto type of onboarding as far as payments go. Originally, when we launched as a SaaS, and this was October of 23, the payment onboarding was Stripe, right? Everyone knows Stripe. Stripe's very efficient. It's very developer friendly, and so I was able to implement that on the back end and start accepting payments. So when we decided to transition to Web3, we had to move off of certain platforms in order to scale and go full custom code. So bringing those legacy customers back, be us implementing Stripe on the back end, but also from a sales perspective, that's kind of where Mike comes in. And what we're developing on the back end is an affiliate marketing program, but also hiring um, tech sales representatives, business developers, things like that. Those that are in the industry, those that are very have a great reputation in the industry, and having a full sales team. I don't know of a lot of Web3 companies that have sales teams outside of X or someone shilling on spaces or something like that. But our product is not based strictly for Web3 customers, right? You guys love it. You can use your crypto to buy subscription plans and things like that. But these AI tools are actually functional from a corporate standpoint. I guess that's what you're asking. And you have to have the right team in place in order to bring them aboard, right? So our plan is as the alpha launch happens, we'll be implementing Stripe as well, just for another payment system to where they're not scared off by having a phantom wallet, or we go multi-chain having a Mu wallet or something like that. We'll have more leverage when using Stripe because people are more familiar with it, and we can offer them custom packages. When it comes to the API and different subscriptions for enterprises, uh, we have that pretty much in place. We're just working on pricing, but also with the API, we're working on that as well. So those that love our platform and love the suite of tools and the agents that we have, if they wanted to create their own where they actually control more of their data, then they can use our API and SDK and they can have their developers, build off of that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question a bit.
Guys, let us know in a general chat or in the chat here if you are enjoying the conversation. I know that the person that asked this question, Yannick, said that it sounds good. and they might reach out via their corporate profile as well. So, if is there anything else they need to do if they want to reach out via their corporate profile? Do they need to contact a specific email, or do they open a ticket? Do they? What are the steps? What is the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can you can go to support at venturemind.ai, support at venturemind.ai. If there's any inquiries on from a corporate or enterprise standpoint, we can, as far as back end, we can pretty much build anything. Especially with you see Vib up here, but our team is much larger than this, especially from a marketing and from a development side. So yeah, you can easily reach out and we can start a conversation. Not a big deal.
Love it, love it. Um, Okay, if anybody has, again, any questions to ask, either general chat or the AMA chat, I suggest the AMA chat because the mods are here, everybody's here, so it will be a fun conversation as well. And yes, Lex, if you want to turn this on speaker, what you have to do is you have to. So, are you on? Okay, you're on iPhone. Scroll down this thing from the top where you click on like the flashlight, the battery power, etc. Click on the thing where you play music and then click on speaker. I hope you find that. If anybody else has an iPhone, if they can send a screenshot, because okay, got it. Amazing, Lex. Happy we could help. So let's move forward. Next question would be, with the low supply token, what are your plans to make it pump more?
With the low supply token, what are our plans to make it pump more? Okay, so it's a fun. Oh my God. That's a funny question. Um, Listen, when it this is how I see, listen, I've been in the crypto space since 2017, right? And, during ICOs, right? And different strategies that different companies, use, and I saw from afar on how they created hype or pumps or getting more eyes on their projects. And, this is this is a big thing for me when deciding to come into Web3 because you have to expect that it's coming, right? When Lambo, when all of these things, and we listen to it with a grain of salt because it's more of a lot. It's a lot of noise because a lot of people don't know what happens behind the scenes. But here's my philosophy on it is that you have to have some of the best. You can't do this by yourself. You have to have some of the best people on your team in order to get marketing, which I'm sure you're referring to get it done. And so that's why we've hired and brought on some of the best team members and agencies in order for us to handle that. Because if it's our core team like me or Vib or Mike, coming up with different strategies and things like that that we feel might push the project in front of more people, then we're kind of defeating ourselves because that's not our specialty, right? So what you do is you hire those that's what they live by. That's all that they do. They know the trending, they know what works, they know what's happening, and you don't get stuck in 2017 or you don't get stuck in 2021. You have to change your marketing and evolve as the space evolves as well. So that's what we have in place currently. So sometimes when I see people saying, "Oh, well, when is marketing happening? When is a campaign?" I mean, this has been ongoing, right? You some of you see it, some of you don't. But that's why we hire some of the best people in the industry in order to handle these things for us. And of course, we do what we do as well by pushing product that people want to use, right? So if marketing is doing what they're supposed to do, but product is shit, then we're kind of defeating ourselves as well, right? So everyone has a job to do, and we focus on our specialties, and we don't micromanage. We let people that are in charge of that let them take care of everything, and we support as much as we can in whatever they ask for.
I'd like to add on to that a little bit, right? So like Jermaine said, right? So we are not just, looking into pumping the coin, but also to push out a really cool product, right? So speaking from a technical perspective, right? All our goal at VentureMind over here is to build something so crazy. Technically, I mean, right? From the AI perspective, from the robotics perspective, building something so crazy that it pumps out the whole company, a company as a whole, not just the coin. Does that make sense to you guys?
That
So
is
yeah, so
very
that's what.
valid. And
Yeah,
It makes sense to me.
right.
listen, I'm just gonna interfere. I'm gonna interfere. I know I'm hosting, I'm asking questions, but usually, and this is not financial advice, by the way, by any means. Um, but usually when things are really pumping really fast, everything that comes fast goes fast, and things that come slowly but steadily in a really strong way are here for the long term. I mean, of course, there are exceptions, but this is how things usually move. So when something is very euphoric, it means the downfall will be a little bit more painful than usual. But again, to each their own specific situation. Perez, one of the OGs in the VentureMind community, asked, "What are the plans with the robotics aspects of VentureMind AI? Will they be rented out to businesses IRL, or are they only available for use remotely? Also, can retail users afford their rentals? Public adoption will be key in the long term for BD."
Yeah. So, what's the first question? Because that's three in one. What's the first question?
Will they be rented out? No. What are the plans with the robotic aspects of VentureMind AI?
Yeah, right, right. So, a l- I don't know how many of you have read the white paper, but from a robotics standpoint, VentureMind, we're using quadrupeds, starting off with quadrupeds to perform jobs and tasks in IRL, right? Let me give you an example. So, I have a friend that has, as a manager at a bank, and we're having dinner and kind of catching up on what we're doing and telling him about robotics. And he's like, "Well, what can they do?" Like, "Well, they can do security, surveillance, 3D mapping, so on and so forth." So, man, would love to have one of those at the bank, in front of the bank, inside the bank, during after hours, right? So, how it goes is there would be a marketplace. So if you were want to be a robot operator, you would log on to our platform, and there would be a marketplace, and then you could see what jobs that you qualify for. Oh, okay, security at a bank, right? And it's based here. Here are the hours. Here is the pay that it's going to pay once it's complete, and you log that job. Once it's time for you to get started, it'll be a full POV 360 style where you're operating a quadruped and you perform those tasks at those set hours. Once that's done and it's been verified, then you are paid instantly via smart contract. That could be in whatever token that job was registered under, whether that's Venture, or Sol, or USDC, or any other token that we decide to add, as far as a payment or a salary almost. The true work from home remote experience, right? That's more the serious side of it, right? Because in order to do jobs like that, you have to be fully KYC, background check, things like that, right? Because it depends on what the client wants from a security perspective. On the entertainment side, that's more of something really cool that we're working on, where anyone that wanted to control a quadruped could easily log on and do so. And I always tell people it's called the arcade effect. Don't know if you guys have ever played Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, but back in the arcade days, you would go put a quarter in, and then you would play the game. You put another quarter in and another quarter in. And the reason being is because you love that product so much that you have to play it again. You have to play it again. That's the concept with the entertainment side, especially for VentureMind. If we take a quadruped and strap a flamethrower on its back and put it in the middle of a forest and say, "Hey, anybody want to control a robot quadruped for 20 minutes? 500 venture tokens." So you deposit your 500 venture tokens, and then those controls are turned over to you, and you go crazy with it. You destroy everything, right? And you have fun, right? Oh man, I want to do that again. Another 20 minutes. Okay, here's another venture. So creating fun things. These quadrupeds aren't just for serious tasks for our clients, which we will have. It's a little bit more stringent on how you get those jobs, but also from an entertainment side for those that really love robotics, they think they're really cool, and you want to you're not here in Texas, right? Or elsewhere where we'll have them deployed, right? But you can, from the comfort of your home, control these things, even from your laptop. And as we expand more into VR goggles and stuff like that, really cool things. So that's more of the concept of what robotics looks like for now. And second question.
All right. Second question would be, will they be rented out to businesses IRL, or are they only available for use remotely?
Yeah, yeah. So how these quadrupeds come, they almost come as an empty shell, right? And so an example of an IRL client would be they have options. They can either rent out the quadruped with our software already installed inside and using our operators in order to complete tasks. They can rent it out and have us train their operators if they're more comfortable with those on staff. They would go through our training course in order to not damage the quadruped, right? Because there's expenses for that. Or they can actually buy the quadruped with our software embedded into it and using our operators or their operators. There's many options that we give to them. But all in all, it's the software. It's less of the robot. It's the software where the revenue comes in because we're lending out that software, so they pay a monthly fee in order to continue to use it, right? So we offer that. There's different packages that we offer to the IRL clients, and I think you have one more.
Yep. Also, can retail users afford their rentals? Public adoption will be key in the long term for BD.
And retail investors afford to. So we're making it. We're it more. We have to think of use case of why retail would want to rent one of our quadrupeds. But if demand is there, then we'll create a package for that as well.
Loud and clear. There. Perez, if you're hearing us, wait, is Perez here? I'm not sure, but I hope that was a satisfying answer. We are half an hour past the AMA time, so let's go through the rest of the questions. And in case we have remaining questions, we can run it back in a week. Let us know what you guys think. Would you like to have these AMAs every week, every 2 weeks, every month? Let us know on the general chat or in the chat here, and we can see how that goes. Next question would be, what percentage of the top holders, parenthesis 74%, are staking their tokens for the minimum 3 months?
Yes. So we get this question a lot in the TG. So the top wallet, and I don't know who's coming from what community and how familiar you are with Solana, how familiar you are with Cetify or anything like that. We are a Solana project, okay? We're built on the Solana blockchain. We launched with Cetify. Cetify is a launch pad that's it's built on Solana. So during our during our IDO or our public round, you had to in order for you to invest in to Venturemind before we launched, you had to do it through Cetify. And the public round, meaning that you have the KYC and do a couple other things with Cetify, then you would get your wallet whitelisted. You were given a certain amount of allocation to Venturemind, right? To the venture tokens. So once the IDO rounds were done and the opens rounds were done, which was something new Cetify did, allowing anyone to come onto their platform and invest in a venture token before launch. During the launch, we launched December 11th. 50%. So if you were allocated, let's say 500 venture tokens, right? Once we launched, 50% of those tokens were released. The rest were vested. So that's why you see that very large wallet at the top. That is the Cetify Launchpad. So those that got into the rounds, that's where their tokens are still there. I believe in February or March is when the remaining 50% of those tokens are released. So you'll see the wallets go down as the vesting periods are over. When it comes to the team tokens, our tokens are locked. We can't stake those tokens because they're locked. This was part of our contract that we have with Cetify. This was to prevent teams from dumping tokens onto the market, right? Since we're a revenue-based company, we're not depending on team tokens. We don't have to liquefy tokens in order to have a runway for us to develop, right? So those tokens are locked. Those tokens are locked until June of 2025. From there, we have a 24-month cliff. Let me explain that to you. It means that once those tokens are fully vested, they don't all unlock at once. The next 24 months, 4% of that token allocation is released every month, 4%, all the way until 2027. So that shows the community that, hey, we've locked our tokens. The trust is there. We're not dumping our tokens on top of you. And to show that, we're going to lock them up and we're going to extend that clip for the next 2 years. The next wallet is our product, our marketing and product incentive wallet. Those tokens are vested for 7 months with a 10% release every month. So this fund is going more towards marketing, which someone mentioned earlier. Have a marketing budget and so on and so forth in order to bring more eyes and visuals to Venturemind exchanges and things like that. So on the back end, exchanges demand a lot, right? So you have to make sure that you have the adequate treasury and liquidity in order to make sure that you have a viable market for when that exchange comes. It's time for you to list. So these are things that were pre-planned, before even launching when we were during our 14-week course in the Cetify incubator. They taught us these things and how to make sure that all of these things are locked, they're implemented, and they're executed, and to show more trust in the community as opposed to other projects that hold 80% of the tokens, right? We're a bit more to where we depend on our revenue. We push out great product, which earns us high revenue, and so on and so forth. And that's how we continue to pay the bills and pay our employees and things like that. When it comes to marketing, we know we're in the Web3 space. So in order to make sure our community is happy and our investors are happy, we have to push marketing and do it in a strategic and organic way. That requires some liquidity from that particular wallet or so on and so forth. But that's it. That's it. So team tokens can't be vested. The big wallet, the Cetify, you'll see that go down as people get the rest of their token allocation and so on and so forth. So if you haven't, and all of this is trackable on the blockchain. Um, as far as like, I'll give you an example. Even from that marketing wallet, that's how we created our staking pool. That's why you guys can get 44% or 107% APY. That's why you can benefit from that because those tokens were actually staked. So the reward pool is great, and as the value of the token goes up, and you're claiming your staking tokens and things like that, you benefit from it. So it helps everyone. So we try to keep everyone happy in the space.
I hope that everybody was satisfied with this answer because honestly, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not gonna really comment after each question because we don't have a lot of time anymore, and I want to make sure we go through as many questions as possible. So I'm just gonna move to the next one. How does Venturemind AI leverage edge computing and Theta Edge nodes to reduce latency, enhance real-time processing, and optimize AI model deployment for robotics and other applications?
Yeah, absolutely. Really good question. Really great question. This was the biggest part of our partnership with Theta, right? It's more so on the robotics side. Months ago, I was speaking with JE. He's the CTO at Theta, and we would have these weekly meetings. Sometimes monthly, and we would just exchange ideas and talk about, what Theta is working on from a technology perspective, and how we can integrate and things like that, right? Of course, with our internal team as well. And with Theta, originally Theta's vision back in 17 when it came out was decentralized CDNs, right? And with these DCDNs, we would use the excess bandwidth that that users would have from their computer or Wi-Fi, whatever the case may be, and then you would use that in order to complete jobs or stream or anything like that. And they had sliver TV where they would reward you with gamma, then they changed gamma to T fuel, so all of these things, right? So when I was talking with the team, I knew that having AWS on the front end for latency is great, but we needed a backup. And when I was thinking about Theta and their DCDNs, this is something that they've worked on in the past. They're more focused on AI and edge clouds and things like that for now, which we'll be using from a streaming perspective. But for the latency, we're bringing back that old tech that they haven't worked on in a bit, of the DCDNs, and so that's how we're integrating that with Theta on the robotics side. Meaning that for those that don't know, if you're at your laptop and you press the up arrow, and then there's one, two, three, and then the quadruped actually goes forward, then that latency is high. We want to make sure that it is almost below zero, to where if you press up, it goes up immediately. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. And so what that does is that shows our clients that we have instant response time. There's no lag, and in order to achieve that, we need to use Theta's technology on the back end for sure.
All right. Moving forward, what is the likelihood of completing Q1 2025 tasks?
Is that what
Oh,
we talking
very.
about?
Like. I think Mike, when we were just talking about this, I think there's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
things that we have.
We just reviewed this. Says it's good. It's a good question.
Highly likely. How about that? Highly
Yeah.
likely.
Very, very likely. We are on track, beyond on track. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Jermaine runs a tight ship. The things he puts out are the things that we get done. We don't really try to make excuses, and we find ways to get everything done that's on our roadmap and white paper. And it's just how he runs the businesses. So um, we're gonna knock it all out in Q1, in Q2.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
so so the robot should be here in the next 2 weeks, from Unitree. Um, I was just at CES with Deep Robotics, and they are finishing out CES tomorrow, and then they're heading here to Texas to bring their X30s and their Light 3 quadrupeds to do some testing here at the facility. So we'll record that and get some footage of that. But yeah, while they're here from China, we want to take advantage of it, and meet and greet these guys, because we haven't met them before. So it's going to be really cool next week.
Oh
So
yeah,
we're based here in Texas.
surprise! We ordered
Yeah, yeah. So
robots
we're based
already.
in Texas, between Houston, and Austin. Mike's in Austin. I'm in Houston, North Houston. So yeah, so there's going to be some really cool stuff next week.
Awesome. Next question. Seed investors who can participate in 10 sales will sell at the end of this month to realize profits. Is there anything you have planned to prevent or minimize the price fluctuation of the token in this process? How do you plan to protect your investors who lock their token for a 3-month period, apart from stake Odulary? Approximately 350 investors will trust the project and keep it out of circulation for 3 months by locking it for 3 months. Do you have a plan to protect these investors and, of course, the token? Thank you.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. Okay, so listen, I don't control the market. I don't control how people utilize their tokens. Those are your tokens to utilize. But we can implement strategic plans in order for them to not dump tokens onto the market and so on and so forth, right? If they choose not to. And so we are releasing our own staking platform to where those can stake even longer with almost the same amount of percentage of APY, but also introducing our revenue share model. So, as you know, the alpha launch for the platform will be this month, and revenue share is something that we're introducing for those that actually hold a venture token. So, give you an example, if venture makes $50,000 for the month of January, and let's say the profits or are 40,000 in profit, 30% of that goes back to the community, whether via airdrop or via stake or anything else. And that could be in venture tokens, in Solana, or in USDC. Every month there will be a transparency report that's put out of how much revenue venture has earned. You'll be able to track that wallet because there's one wallet where all the revenue goes. And so then from there, after overhead costs and things are paid, whatever profit percentage is left, 30% of that always goes back to the community. So what that does is that incentivizes users to hold on to their venture tokens just to make sure that it's don't call it a dividends because that's the gray area, right? Because though you guys don't hold equity into Venturemind, but our revenue share would be either airdrop, more staking added to the liquidity pool, or for something else. But more so, I believe, on the airdrop side, and that applies to every single project under the Venturemind AI umbrella. So that also applies to the robotics as well. As our IRL clients sign on more contracts and we earn a revenue and profit from that, 30% of that profit goes back to the community. This is the revenue share that we wanted to implement or to reward those who are backing the token, holding the token, because that's a huge aspect of making sure that these things are you can't prevent volatility, right? That's just the market as is. But for those that are involved in our project, they should be rewarded from that. Having to lock their tokens or stake their tokens or anything like that, just from holding the token. So snapshot happens at the end of every month. And then from there, that airdrop happens or the liquidity pool addition happens as well.
And
So
I just want to, oh, go ahead.
strategic ways.
Roger.
Yeah, this is some of the strategic ways that we're using in order to prevent that. But we're coming up with more on a weekly basis that we want to implement as well.
And I just wanted to touch on the staking platform that we're creating through our site. That's going to be ours that we're building. There's going to be tons of information for y'all to go see. The dashboard is going to be amazing, and you're going to love it.
All right. What potential setbacks do you anticipate may face you and the team in implementing and expanding the robotics and AI agent aspect of Venturemind, and what strategies have been conceptualized to adapt to a rapidly evolving AI/robotics environment?
Yeah, right now we haven't had, one thing about that we've seen is that since we've already pushed a beta project before all the hype happened, people now expect us to build super fast. So when something doesn't come out, even though we've done 99% more than any other project that's currently out there before they even launched, when we don't push as fast enough, sometimes we get some type of FUD and pushback from that. But we haven't seen any setbacks as far as robotics or um, uh, building AI tools or anything like that. I think it's more so on making it super user friendly, right? Because a lot of products that you see, especially when it comes to agents, it involves some low code or code involved in order to do it. But even when you do that, it's still not super user friendly. And so I think in order to achieve that, sometimes we go back and forth internally on how to make sure it's as easy as possible to where anyone, tech savvy or not, could easily use these tools and build the tools as well. And what was that second question?
The second question, what strategies have been conceptualized to adapt to a rapidly evolving AI and robotics environment?
Yeah, so much AI moves so fast. People get bored very easily. But you have to understand that we all live in our own little bubble, right? So, everyone believes that everyone uses Chat GPT now and Anthropic and Claude 3 and Commander and Mistral and all these other LLMs when they really don't. Um, our job is to make sure that we keep up with the goals of Venturemind and don't get left behind in the AI space, but we don't go chasing things that don't have demand. Just because something comes out that's brand new doesn't mean the demand is there yet. We look at it, we'll assess it, we'll play around with it, but we look out for demand from our customers, from our clients, and our community. And I believe if you're chasing every single AI um, announcement, every single AI startup or whatever, or something that's new, um, as a builder, as a founder, or whatever, you're not gonna make it. You have to focus. Um, give your community what they want. Give them, and if you hear a lot of noise about it, let's all talk about it and let's figure it out. But give your community what they want.
Give your community what they want. We still have 10 minutes, and I just want to say to every single person in the audience, you are going to be rewarded with engage points by the community team. And the community team will have some cool questions and stuff to discuss with you. So every single person who's still here, we have taken a screenshot and feel free to open a ticket and let us know that you are one of the AMA listeners and we'll reward you and start the little discussion with you. So thank you so much for being here. The questions are amazing. We still have time for one or two questions, and then we'll definitely be running it back. So don't forget to open your tickets and let's continue. Um, I am only able to claim half of my rewards from staking. Why is this? I should be able to claim my full amount due.
We're
Mike, go
looking
ahead
into
and answer that
this.
one.
Yeah,
You're
so
the staking guru.
yeah, I'm all in it. Yeah, we noticed that, and we're looking into why that is. And as we suggested from the beginning, um, just don't collect your rewards daily and wait till the very end. And when I get an answer back from Streamflow on what's going on there, uh, I will let the community know immediately because it's something we're working on and they're working on. We're aware of it. And it doesn't happen on every single stake. So uh, the tokens aren't going anywhere. They think it's just I can't even speak to what they think it is yet until they get back to me. So once I get full confirmation from them, we'll let the community know. But your tokens are safe. They're good. They're going to continue to accumulate rewards daily. Just hold off on collecting them daily, and once we get it figured out, we'll let you know.
All right. There's a person that asked 5 staking questions. The first one is acknowledge that staking on Streamflow is permissionless. Are there any security measures in place to protect staked assets? This is question number one.
Streamflow went through an audit, so everything is safe in there. They're good. There's no issues there. So I mean, we're not seeing any problems. They're a third
Yeah,
party.
let
They're
me
trusted.
let
They're
me let me
huge.
let me
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me take over for that, Mike. Let me take over for that. So with StreamFlow, um, this was the original team that we wanted to go with just because of how easily the functionality was on the back end. And as far as UI, and we wanted to push staking as fast as possible for those that demanded it. But they have went through their audit, but also it's permissionless, and I think it's great because us as a team or us as the staking pool creator, we cannot pull tokens from the pool. No one can, right? And that's how it should be. This prevents people, bad actors from trying to rug their community and things like that. So I think it being permissionless and us not having that ability is great. But the audit is great. We haven't had any security issues or anything like that with StreamFlow. We use StreamFlow also for our vesting contracts and escrow contracts as well to lock up the tokens. So they come highly recommended. We have a great relationship and reputation with these guys. So yeah, So it's not just your staking tokens, but also vested contracts with other people as well.
Hey, also
Question
if
number
it
two. Oh,
yeah, if it
Yeah, go ahead.
helps, right? I'm a personal staker. I've staked a lot of venture tokens. So yeah, you know. So yeah, so from you have someone from the team who's also, invested in the project and in the platform, right?
Bib
No
is
worries.
on fire
What's the other
today.
one?
The other one, the other one is an interesting one, Jermaine. Have you undergone any security audits, and if so, by whom and what were the findings?
I see what you're doing. We have undergone our security audit. We just finished our audit, and you guys will be hearing about that tomorrow.
Very
Yeah, big
soon.
announcement tomorrow. Very soon. There you go. I call it tomorrow. A big announcement tomorrow. But yes, we have gone through a full security audit. Nothing was found because we're good like that. But yes, that'll you'll find out more about that tomorrow.
All right. Is there insurance or any form of financial protection for staked assets?
Insurance or financial protection for staked assets. No, no, it's not. It's not. That's a simple answer. Staking your tokens, investing in crypto, things like that. These you do this at your own will. We do not provide
Own risk.
financial for sure. Make sure you do your due diligence and research before investing any of your tokens or your
Mhm.
hard-earned money in any investment, whether it be staking or trading or anything like that. So for sure.
What are the future upgrades or changes planned for the staking system?
Yeah. So with the staking system, we'll be switching to our own staking platform off of Streamflow after I want to say the last after March. So, but also we have to wait until that liquidity pool depletes as well. So we'll be making announcements on when to transfer over and when we're launching that staking platform. But also with those features, you'll be able to see full analytics. This will be an open staking platform, so it's not just our project Venturemind. You'll also be able any project on Solana would be able to create a staking pool and do tokens as well. So if those are you guys are planning on building any projects or launching anything and like to create a staking pool for your community, you'll be able to do that as well. As we advance to multi-chain, those that aren't on Solana as well would be able to bring their tokens over and stake as well. That's all I can say about that for now.
And the last question from Tariq is, how do you plan to keep stakers informed about the network's performance and security updates?
Yeah, Viv, I think you can handle that one.
Okay, so currently, like we are using Streamflow for now, right? So everything is handled from their end, right? So all the smart contracts and all those stuff come from Streamflow, right? It's their platform, and we're gonna white label it and just put our UI on it for momentarily, actually, right? But when we do eventually, come up with our own platform, right? Then we're gonna have our own smart contracts. We're gonna have a separate dashboard with exciting features, and we're gonna have a separate audit for that, right? And all those things. And what so with each update, right? So as the progress goes on, as the development goes on, and as we plan the next rollouts, we'll be updating you guys, by all channels, by Twitter, Discord, and all those things, right? So yeah.
Thank you, Viv. Okay, I think we can have one last question for today. Are there any plans to increase the liquidity pool so large buys and sells don't have such a large price impact?
So we can't increase the liquidity pool. Liquidity pool is locked. So
Mhm.
that would that would negate the fact of even starting a liquidity pool, because if it wasn't locked, then of course, I don't know how familiar people are with dexes and things like that. The team could pull liquidity at any time. That's not the case. You have to lock the liquidity. So, in order to prevent fluctuations from big sales and things like that, then of course we have to push to other dexes and sexes and things like that, and that's coming. So don't worry. We got it. We got it. We
They
hear you
got it.
loud and
You
clear.
heard him.
Yeah, we see the charts, we see the market, we see the sellers, we see the wallets. We watch everything. We watch everything. So yes, we want to make sure that your investments are safe, and we try to give the community exactly what they want. So no, it's coming. So just stay tuned for that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. The continuity of this session will be very, very soon. So feel free to keep asking any question that you have in mind in the AMA chat, and then we'll reschedule another one for sooner or later. Do not forget, if you're here and if you've been listening to this, to open a ticket, get your rewards, and participate and be an active participant in the community, because everything's going to be rewarded at some point. A lot of cool things are going to happen within the community itself. So thank you so much, and see you all soon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys, I appreciate everything. And Marianne, I think we have 2 minutes left. Hold on. Theta York. I got to get a last question in from Theta. He wrote, "What's the long-term goal for all aspects of the business?" Keep it quick. Um, Long-term goals, like I said, Venturemind AI is an umbrella. The first two ventures are the AI platform, the robotics platform, soon coming the staking platform. We have two other ventures that I cannot even think about mentioning to you guys that we will be releasing this year, later around Q4, that I believe you would be even more excited about. Every business and venture that we do leverages AI in some form and fashion, and that's what we do. So as we add more businesses, that's more revenue, that's more profit share and revenue share for the holders of venture. So just look out for that. And
All
with
right,
that said, you
everybody.
guys, love you all.
Thank you. See you. Goodbye.
All right, bye bye.